All right, my beautiful friends, another day in paradise? Let's see. So anyway, it is Tuesday, March 14, 2019. Here's where we are right now. A lot of this is not going to be a surprise to you because I explained to you that we were going to see some of this, but it's right in our face. Let's start at the beginning. As I am doing this video blog, stocks are higher across the board. A little rally going on. Wall Street, very nice, very nice. Let's set up a little timeline here so we can get a perspective on this. So let's back up to yesterday. At one point, stocks were getting absolutely walloped. Dow was down 719, all the major indices down big time. The NASDAQ well over 4%. And then all of a sudden, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin comes out and says, China trade talks are ongoing. That's all it took. Boom! Stocks come off their lows across the board. We did finish lower yesterday across the board, pretty substantially. NASDAQ put on a loss of 3.43. Dow about 2.5%. Okay, whatever. So today, a couple of very interesting things are unfolding here. And I want to get your take on this. So I'm going to read these things to you because I want to get it right. I do not want it to be my words. All right. So after that whole debacle yesterday and the market closed, obviously we understand how the president does not like to see stocks fall. So he came out and said this. Think about what I'm about to tell you. We already understand the situation. The president's alternative deal is in place. China has already retaliated. They're threatening to sell treasuries. So things are escalating. But this is a statement from the president which pushed stock futures up triple digits. Here we go. Quote, "We'll know in 3 to 4 weeks if China trade talks are successful." Well, they're failing so far. So I don't know what he's trying to say here, but it was enough to push stock futures up triple digits. Now, here's another boost to the market today out of the president's mouth. It's very interesting, and I want to talk about this, and I want to hear your take on it. President said, if the Fed cuts rates, the U.S. will win the trade war. Here's a quote. Again, it would be game over, we win. Now, this is not a surprise, I am certain, to any of you that follow this blog. Good cop, bad cop. We all knew it was coming. Now, what the president is really saying here, and he's really pushing for this rate cut. Again, why? It should be exceedingly simple to understand. The middle class needs to subsidize the stock market, period. And it's very simple. We get a rate cut, it will push stocks higher. Period. It's theft on a grand scale from the middle class. It's terrible. Quantitative easing is probably coming too at one point. More theft. Again, so the president is saying that he believes that if we cut rates, we'll win the trade war. Period. That's what he said. He even called it a trade war. So there's no debate anymore. The president is admitting it's a trade war. Hey, speaking about admissions, where's Larry Kudlow? The man's still gone. He's in the woodshed after his backstab on the president. Actually, he just revealed the truth to the world, went viral. The president is still pushing the narrative that China's paying the tariffs, despite it being revealed to the world, not just by Gregory Mannarino, before anybody, but Larry Kudlow saying that the United States citizens are paying the tariffs. Anyway, with that said here, so the president is saying that if we get a rate cut here, we win the trade war. Now, it's deeper than that too. Let's understand this. So what he's saying is, in effect, is he's expecting other countries around the world to also cut rates. Again, they have no alternative. We're at the end game here with regard to inflating the debt bubble. And in order to do it even greater than it is, and to keep stocks being pulled higher on the back of that debt bubble, We need a rate cut. There's no doubt about it. The president knows this to be true. So he's got to kind of spin the narrative a little bit that, get some fear into the people. In order to win this trade war, because I can't do it on my own without, negotiating, we have to now lower rates in the United States to win the trade war. You can't make this stuff up even if you tried. If you sat down and thought about it overnight, maybe a few weeks, even to a few months, you couldn't do it. It's an impossibility. But what the president is saying here is not completely false in many ways. Look, I give credit where credit's due. What the president is saying is he's expecting this trade war to escalate. He's expecting countries around the world, China, to continue to lower rates. He's also expecting China to debase their currency further, which means that's going to happen here in the United States as well. So when you hear these kinds of statements, you have to look into them and try to understand what's really being said. It should be pretty obvious to all of you here. But again, it's the middle class. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but it is a shame. It's the middle class that's going to be punished. The middle class that is going to pay for everything. The middle class that is simply going to grease the wheels of this machine with their blood and guts. That's simple. So look, I personally think these last two comments from the president are absolutely acts of desperation. Sincerely, again, let me read this to you. After the market closed yesterday with a 600-point loss, the president said, quote, "1, we'll know in 3 to 4 weeks if China trade talks are successful." I understand the talks are ongoing, but does he not realize that this trade war, his words, is escalating? And then he goes on, if Fed cuts interest rates, the United States will win the trade war. It would be game over. His words, we win. I'd like him to honestly explain to the American people how that one single thing, because that's what he said, for all of you that are going to go off the deep end, pretend that it's John Smith, Democrat, in the White House. And John Smith, Democrat, just said, if we do this one thing, we win the trade war. That's what the president just said. With that said, ponder it. I will read the comments, and I'll see all of you at the end of the day.